Tired body, tired brain. What if the very same things that would cause our physical body to feel tired would also cause your brain cells to be tired? You see, we understand that you need energy to move your muscles, right? We know that you need energy to have strength. And ultimately, we need energy to move our bodies. And the more energy we have, the more we can move our bodies with ease. A lot of times we don't ever wonder, like, how do our brain cells work? Like, how do they do what they do, right? We just think, well, brain cells just do what they do. It's like, how? What's required for brain cells to do what they do? Because when you think about it, brain cells have to put in all this work to produce these chemicals in their cell body, transport these chemicals down the axon, the little nerve kind of rootlet, if you want to say, and then dump it out. And then another cell has to pick that up and then transport it. So imagine this line where people are lifting up heavy bricks, walking it down, putting it down, and then dumping it out. And then someone goes and picks up that brick and brings it in. Except we don't think that brain cells actually have to do that much work. But then we also don't think about why the brain needs 20%. This tiny little ball of a thing requires 20% of our total body's energy. Isn't that weird? Where does that 20% of energy go? To lifting all those heavy bricks. The brain cells work really hard. Their job is not easy. Their job is hard. And they need a lot of energy to do what they do. And it turns out that in addition to the transportation of dopamine and epinephrine and all of these important chemicals we need to feel good and pay attention and concentrate, which is what all of these neuronal connections do. And it's not as easy as just, oh, the cells, if they're not working, you get that. You can get inflammation, you can get toxins. There's all kinds of different reasons why the brain cells don't function. But when there's not enough electricity, when the systems are at 50% capacity, guess what? You get synaptic fatigue. What does that mean? Basically, the cell-to-cell communication in the brain fatigues. The brain cells, instead of lifting the heavy bricks, they're like, I think I want to go sit down right now. I want to take a nap. I'm just not feeling good. I'm just tired. God, I've worked too much. I want to rest. That's the brain cell. Except if they had a voice, that's probably what they would be telling us. And it turns out that the part of the brain that is most important for information control and flow, the prefrontal cortex, where a lot of our higher person processing and management happens, the prefrontal cortex. It turns out in the prefrontal cortex, where a lot of this information flow and integration is taking place, we have these crossguards, right? They're like, stop. Your lane needs to stop right now because I need to let that other, information go. So they're literally the crossguards. They help control inflammation. And when they control information, these crossguards help us manage our world. They help block out certain pieces of information we don't need so we can concentrate, we can feel good, we don't get overwhelmed when we're in different stimulus-rich environments. Literally these crossguards, these GABAergic neurons in our prefrontal cortex, and all of this information is out there, literally control that. And guess what? These crossguards are extra sensitive to energy production problems. So while the typical brain cells are super sensitive and they get tired, guess what happens when the crossguard has chronic fatigue? When your crossguard is like, that's too exhausting to do all this traffic control is exhausting. I'm just going to sit down right now. I need to rest. And guess what happens when the crossguard is taking a rest? You get traffic accidents, except these traffic accidents are information flow accidents in the brain. And guess what that shows up as? It shows up as social anxiety. It shows up as anxiety. It shows up as ADD, poor executive functioning, because all the information is crashing into itself. And literally, it's impossible for the brain to integrate the information because it's all log jammed. And what's nuts is when you find this in a child, or an adult, not that I work with adults, when you find this in a child and you address it, the weirdest thing happens. First of all, the kid who is tired actually has energy. They start running around, they're jumping off the couch, they're riding their bike, they're playing soccer, and the coach is like, is that the same kid? Oh my God, like he's been running for 30 minutes. He hasn't stopped. And then you're like, oh no, and that same kid that is now running for 30 minutes at a time, all of a sudden is smiling more. And they don't have anxiety. They don't have depression. Oh, look, he's studying better. Oh my God, look, he's learning. Yeah. If the neurons are actually having the capacity and energy to finally communicate with one another, if the crossguard parts of the brain are actually now controlling information the way they should, yeah, really cool things happen on the outside. And this isn't rocket science. This isn't some kind of miracle thing. It's literally, if your kid is tired, or maybe you as an adult, if you're physically tired all the time, and you happen to get overwhelmed in the world, and you happen to feel anxious and depressed, guess what? Those things are not unrelated. They are related. They are connected. And through simple metabolic cocktails that have CoQ10 and carnitine and B vitamins, and I mentioned these things before, when you use these supplements, really incredible things happen. And transformation happens seemingly overnight. Literally a week or two later, the human being that was tired and irritable and angry and cranky and tantrumy and depressed transforms into another person. Why? Because you changed their physiology, you changed their mitochondria, you changed their energy production, which then transformed everything else within their body. This is the kind of information we need out there. And I really hope every parent out there can be aware of this, to at least know it exists, even if they don't do anything about it. If we can do this, if we can get this much awareness in the world, imagine how much of a difference we can make for how many kids and their families. Because you know what? There's a lot of you adults that when you're looking at these conversations, you're like, it's not my kid, but that's me. What kind of a difference could we make in the world? I don't know. I don't even know. But I know it could be really big. And God, like right now, wouldn't that be really cool? Amongst all this darkness and chaos and all this weirdness that's happening, let's at least bring a little bit of light. So I thank you for being a part of this community and for engaging in this conversation with me and for just making the world a better place. Thanks so much. This is Dr. K. Bye.